Something has got to change. No, I am not your subconscious talking to you about your current selection of websites, but something has to change with the Kansas City Chiefs after this season, this offseason. They parted ways with all-star cornerback, not all-pro cornerback. They still have the all-pro, all-star cornerback, L'Jarius Sneed. You know, a couple seasons ago, the Kansas City Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill and ended up getting better as that trade gave way for the birth of a franchise that is ascending ever more and has become maybe one of the best in the history of football. Certainly a dynasty. And with the trade of Tyreek Hill, the Kansas City Chiefs got a whole lot of assets. It's not the case with the trade of L'Jarius Sneed. One of those picks acquired in the trade for L'Jarius Sneed has already been made, a 7th rounder in this previous draft. The next pick is the 3rd round selection this coming season, this coming NFL draft. The 7th round pick for Sneed loosely, I believe, translates to offensive guard C.J. Hansen in the 7th round. There's a lot of trading going on at the back end of the draft, so it was difficult for me to really. It's either C.J. Hansen or Kamal Hadden. I believe it was C.J. Hansen. Now, in the wake of the Tyreek Hill trade, the wide receiver position for the Kansas City Chiefs has yet to rebound. Will this be the case for the corner position as the Chiefs have traded L'Jarius Sneed? There is one article, one publication, and one writer that dares to say, look, maybe not. 4 potential NFL breakout candidates on defense pinned by Marcus Mosher from 33rdteam.com. The article highlights Joshua Williams from the Kansas City Chiefs, and it says this, quote, "The Kansas City Chiefs had to make several difficult decisions this offseason, including trading star cornerback L'Jarius Sneed to the Tennessee Titans for a 3rd-round pick after unsuccessful negotiations. It'll be challenging for the Chiefs to replace him, but they have a young cornerback ready to step up to the challenge. Joshua Williams, a 3rd-year player from Fayetteville State. Williams was a 4th-round pick by the Chiefs during the 2022 NFL Draft and spent the last 2 seasons as Sneed's backup. The good news for Kansas City is Williams saw the field and made plays in a part-time role. Including the postseason, Williams has played more than 900 snaps in the past 2 seasons. While he doesn't have much experience, he contributed some in the Super Bowl runs. Williams' sample size is small, but his advanced numbers are encouraging. According to Pro Football Reference, opponents averaged just 4.9 yards per target when going after Williams last year. To put that in perspective, Sneed allowed 4.8 yards per target last season, the best of his career. No one expects Williams to be a 1-for-1 replacement for Sneed, but there is a good chance Williams could be a quality cornerback right away. The cornerback's job won't be as difficult if the Chiefs can get more production from their young pass rushers. Look for Williams to get the first crack at starting in Sneed's place and for him to improve with more reps. Now, I've been on the record a couple times already this offseason talking about how I think it's going to be Jalen Watson that ultimately ends up taking L'Jarius Sneed's place. He already iced the Chargers a couple seasons ago with a walk-off 99-yard interception returned for a touchdown, but also he iced the Jaguars in the playoffs as well. When we start to compare these two players, they're pretty similar actually physically. Joshua Williams has those insane long arms. However, in 2022, Joshua Williams played 437 snaps of defense, allowed a 56% completion percentage, gave up a 104.9 rating when targeted. All of this was on 50 targets, and he had 7 pass breakups. He followed that up in his sophomore campaign with 321 snaps, giving him 758 regular season snaps for the Kansas City Chiefs. In his sophomore campaign, he gave up only 44% completions and yielded that aforementioned 82.2 rating when targeted, all on just 29 targets. He also had 5 pass breakups. Joshua Williams, for his part, in 2022, his rookie season, played 605 snaps, yielded a 64% completion percentage, which was 8 points higher than the rookie number given up by Joshua Williams, but on 168 more snaps. However, this is what gets Jalen Watson in trouble. He gave up a 103.9 rating when targeted. He gave up a 103.6 rating when targeted in his sophomore campaign. But back to that rookie season, he gave up those numbers on 71 targets and also had 6 pass breakups. Pardon me. In his sophomore campaign, Jalen Watson, I keep doing this, Jalen Watson had played 440 snaps, giving him 1,045 snaps played for his career, nearly 300 snaps more than Joshua Williams. Last season, he yielded 56% completion percentage, which is down 8 points from his rookie season, but still 12 points higher than Joshua Williams gave up last year. His 103.6 rating when targeted was 21 points worse than Joshua Williams. He did all of this on 48 targets compared to Williams' 29. He added 6 pass breakups. Now, this is one of those cases, in my opinion, where sometimes... So Mark Twain said that there's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics. I think Mark Twain, by the way, a Missouri man. So I believe that this is one of those cases where sometimes the stats get you in trouble when you try to analyze them. Why? Well, because in his rookie season, Jalen Watson played 170 more snaps. In his second season, Jalen Watson played 120 more snaps. Playing more snaps is going to get you more targets. More targets are going to ruin any shot you have at a pristine pass percentage completed or rating when targeted. What it's also going to do, what also happens is oftentimes with something like a cornerback position, there is a general hierarchy, right? So L'Jarius Sneed was on the other team's best guy last season, and Trent McDuffie just shut down the second best guy all year. When you're the third cornerback, a lot of times you come on to cover the third best guy. So when you're Joshua Williams and you're the fourth cornerback, look, there's no shame in that, but you're coming on the field to cover someone that probably runs the same 40 as I do. What you're doing is you are getting fewer snaps against lesser competition. Now, obviously, schemes throw these things off a lot, right? It discombobulates what the plan is for the defense. But general rule of thumb, over the difference of 300 snaps in his NFL career to this point, his young NFL career, Jaylen Watson has not only played more football, but probably generally lined up against tougher competition than Joshua Williams. In my opinion, it is Joshua Williams that is a good option, but Jaylen Watson who is the better option. That said, all of that said, they're not the only two that could do it. The Kansas City Chiefs reportedly absolutely love former 7th round pick, 250th overall, Nick Jones, who goes 6 feet tall, 189 pounds. He got a little bit of playing time last year, but not too terribly much. I think it is unlikely that he usurps the playing time of either Joshua Williams or Jaylen Watson, but those things happen. There is also journeyman Kelvin Joseph, 6'1", 192 pounds, with a 4.34 40-yard dash, a former second rounder, 44th overall, who has traveled a little bit of the league. He is on the Andre Rison retirement path, but guys, he's still only 24 years old. How many players in the NFL have figured things out in their mid-20s? This is one of the things that I really liked from Nick Wright when he was still doing the afternoon show in Kansas City. One of the things he said is that football is the most American sport. It doesn't matter that baseball is the American pastime. It doesn't matter that basketball is basically the most successful American sport export, in that China loves basketball, Japan loves basketball, apparently North Korea loves basketball. Ask Dennis Rodman about that. There's European leagues. Everybody loves basketball, but the most American sport is football. Why? Well, because all the time, guys set down to that grind and make something of themselves. This is quintessentially in sport the American dream. You're not going to grind your way to being 6'8", 280 pounds, and Shaquille O'Neal. You're not going to grind your way to that. You were born that. Many of the skills on the soccer field really come down to speed. A lot of it comes down to speed. A lot of it comes down to lung capacity, etc. That's the world sport anyway, right? But a lot of it comes down to you're not lifting weights and getting better at soccer over the summer. You're just not doing it. Baseball. I was not born with 20/20 vision, as you might be able to tell. It would have been very difficult for me to hit a sinker. That fastball comes real quick. Couldn't do it, right? But guys grind themselves into being good at football all the time over a single summer. Where I was going with this is that Nick Jones, Kelvin Joseph, these guys both have tools. Nick Jones apparently is outperforming his draft position and is a promising cornerback. Kelvin Joseph was picked 44 overall for a reason. He's got plenty of tools. My money is still on Jaylen Watson. But here's the point. Here's the real point to this. When the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill, the cupboard was fairly empty. There was a whole lot of wide receiver maybes on the roster with Tyreek Hill that were shined up a little bit. Demarcus Robinson, because Tyreek Hill was taking a lot of attention, And in Tyreek Hill's absence, there was actually a void of talent. That is not the case at cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs. While and whereas the Kansas City Chiefs are struggling to replace Tyreek Hill, probably will never actually replace Tyreek Hill. That guy's going to the Hall of Fame, right? As long as he keeps his off-the-field stuff under control. Ask Antonio Brown about that. The Kansas City Chiefs have plenty of talent at the cornerback position. Maybe it will be Joshua Williams who steps up and takes the place of, does not replace, but takes the place of L'Jarius Sneed. Maybe it's Jalen Watson who does so. Perhaps, mayhap, it ends up being Nick Jones. Maybe it ends up being Kelvin Joseph. There's Kamal Haddon. There's Miles Battle. There are 11 cornerbacks and 4 defensive backs currently on the roster. Simply by the law of large numbers, somebody has to do something, right? My point is that even though L'Jarius Sneed is gone, I don't think we have any reason to believe that the cornerback position will collapse in the way that the wide receiver position did. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what I do on this channel, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button to stick around for more. The Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.